So to start the process of replacing our pilot light, we need to first shut off the gas supply to the unit. Then we're also going to turn down the thermostat and then turn the valve on the unit to the off position. You can see here that it's in the off position. Once we've got those things shut off, then we're going to be able to remove the burner assembly, and we can start that simply by taking the outside cover off of the unit. So the tools that I've got are very small adjustable wrench, something I can get in there with because we're going to need that for these fittings down here, and then a socket. For this unit, it's a 3/8 inch socket, and I've just got a little screwdriver, socket driver here in order to take these off. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to take all the parts and pieces apart. Now we've got all these things disconnected, and we can pull the entire burn chamber, all the parts out as one piece. So this is the replacement kit I got for this unit. It's got all of those connections except for the main gas valve. It's got it's going to have new igniter, pilot, and thermocouple on there. So again, this is literally just 2 screws on the old unit to replace it, and then running all these components through the wall of the burn chamber. So there's literally just 2 screws. There's one on the bracket on the bottom, and then one on this bracket on the burner. So we're going to take those 2 out, remove the seal and all the components through here, and then we're going to replace that with the new components, and then screw it on in these 2 same positions, these 2 brackets. And to remove this seal around here, really just need to squeeze it back through. It comes from the back side to the front, and so if you just kind of start on one edge and start squeezing it back through, it'll pop through there, and then we can bend these into place and run them through the that hole in the shroud. So I'm just going to straighten these out so that we can put them through the hole in the burn chamber door. And I'm really not going to do anything more than that because I can get them where they need to be without bending them any more than that. So we're going to feed these through. And once I've got them fed through, then I can line up the assembly here to the brackets that we need to attach it to. Okay, so we've got everything installed here. The brackets all attached. Now we need to get this seal back into the door so that it'll seal up the chamber. So I'm going to slide this gently down here, and then I need to press this through until the little seam on there is all the way around and on the outside of the door. Kind of need to go from one side to another and push it through and push it over, and then it'll kind of get snapped into place there. And so that's all good. It's all through there completely. All right. So then we can get this installed back into the burn chamber. Okay, so I had a little trouble getting the burner assembly out, and the reason is because I wasn't paying as good attention as I should have to this bracket on the inside. And that's where the main gas line will sit. Now all the components that we just added on or replaced are going to be past this bracket. They're going to be on the other side of this bracket. And so everything needs to go around that and then set back down into it so it fits. Put these nuts back on here. Get that started. Okay, so I can put these nuts back on here. Tighten the door back in place. Okay, so just like when we took everything apart, we need to be careful with these all these fittings because they're very delicate and they can be bent and damaged. So we're gonna move real slow basically and then line everything up. The easiest one to hook back up is the igniter. Just snap that into place, put the insulator back over the top of it, and that's ready to go. Okay. Then we can do the thermocouple, which is this copper line here, and that goes over on this side underneath the thermostat. Okay, and then the pilot light supply, gas supply. And the reason I'm bending this around this direction is because I want it to fit underneath the shroud that goes over the top of this whole thing. And I'm going to make these bends as wide as possible in order to avoid it getting kinked, the line getting kinked together. Okay, some of these fittings can be a little bit fiddly, but don't try and rush it or force it. Neither one of those things is a good plan. Alright, now I've got everything hooked up. I'm going to turn on the gas and try and get it fired up. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the main gas line here. Just Turn that again so it's in line with the pipe. I come down, follow the pipe down. I'm going to turn this back on to pilot. And then we've got this at pilot lighting setting. And so then we're going to, again, like we have before, we're going to push this down to get gas to flow through. And then we're going to pop the igniter until the pilot light comes off or comes on while we're looking down through this viewing port. Okay, now we're going to hold this down for about a minute to heat up the thermocouple, which should keep the gas flowing, and then we'll turn on the thermostat. Okay, so we're now going to turn on the thermostat. I've turned the gas valve over to on, and it's still going. So we'll turn on the thermostat. And there it goes. Okay, everything's burning. So that's good. We'll see if that keeps up, and we'll come back and check on it later. Alright, everything's still going. So I've got my thermostat set where I want it, and I'm going to leave it on the higher setting right now, and then I'll dial it back later to where we normally have it. And then I'm just going to put the shroud on, and we're pretty much done.